Hey gang, welcome back to another video. Now I was recently sent a lightsaber from saber company Damiensabers with a challenge. A challenge to build a Star Wars inspired display stand for it. Now anyone who knows me knows that I can't turn down a new lightsaber, and I do like a challenge. So there's only one thing left to do. Let's get to building. As with most projects, I like to start designing in Illustrator. And because I knew that I wanted to give it that carbon freeze chamber look, it was going to be the fastest way for me to create and repeat design elements. I've always liked the look of vertical displays, so I hopped over to Fusion 360 and pulled together a stand that had interlocking parts so that I could cut it out of a solid piece of clear acrylic. With the design finalized, I could send it to my laser cutter, and here's the first piece. I knew that I wanted to use a piece of pipe to finish out the rest of this stand, so off camera I cut down an 1.5 inch section of this 6-inch pipe and sanded the cut edges flat and got to gluing the parts together. Once the CA glue had set up, I grabbed some clear coat spray paint to seal the MDF. This step prevents the paint from being absorbed into the fibers and allows for a much more even appearance. And while I wait for that to dry, here's a closer look at the Damiensaber. This is their Luke Skywalker inspired hilt, which looks really similar to the stunt saber Obi-Wan used in A New Hope. It's really impressive in hand and has a ton of features, including 12 sound fonts, motion control and smooth swing, as well as flash on clash and some other cool effects. Now that the top is dry, I can repeat the clear coat on the inside and then get to my main color. I decided to go with a graphite color rather than black, since I think it's a good middle ground color for something that's supposed to look like metal. And after everything is dried, I think I made the right choice. It's dark, but not so dark that you miss the thin details of the design. Off camera, I cut this thin piece of frosted acrylic which will act as a diffuser for the lights that will be added inside of the base. This was a really tight piece, so I had to sand down the edges of the acrylic a bit before it would fit. But now it's wedged in there nice and tight and isn't going anywhere. With that out of the way, I can get to installing the lights. But before I do that, I'm going to use some aluminum foil tape along the inside of the base to act as a bit of a reflector for the lights. This should help to boost the brightness and give it a more even glow, if I could ever get the tape off of its backing. The aluminum tape is slightly wider than the pipe, so I'll use a knife to remove the excess and then really press it down to ensure a good bond. I found this battery-powered RGB LED strip and figured this would be a perfect use for it. So I peeled off the backing and stuck it to the inside of the pipe. There was a bit of extra, so I grabbed my scissors and cut it right along the joint and then pressed it firmly into place. Then I could plug in the battery pack and test it out. The last thing to do is insert the clear acrylic pieces of my stand. This consisted of a lower support piece, the middle vertical support, a pommel support, and a neck support. And now I think it's time to do a test fit and light it up. All in all, I think I achieved the overall effect I was after. I'm not sure how I feel about the lower support piece, but thankfully that can be changed if I ever come up with a better option.
Now this project was some parts handmade and some parts machine-made, which I think captures the Star Wars aesthetic to a T. Special thanks to Damiensaber for sending me over this lightsaber, and I'll leave a link down in the description if you'd like to check out their full line of products. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, but most importantly, go make something.